Family isn't built by blood, I used to tell myself. It's built by showing up. I believed that with every part of me. Maybe I had to. My first marriage had ended the way so many do, not with one explosive argument, but with years of quiet disappointment. By the time the divorce papers were signed, I wasn't angry anymore. Just exhausted. I had spent years trying to save something that had already stopped breathing. For a long time, I convinced myself I was finished with relationships. Then I met Lauren. She wasn't looking for someone to rescue her, and I wasn't looking to rescue anyone. We were simply two people carrying different scars who happened to understand silence better than conversation. She had a daughter named Brooke, 13 years old. Smart. Funny, when she wanted to be. Guarded all the time. Lauren warned me before I ever met her. She still hopes her dad comes back, she said one evening. Please don't take it personally if she's distant. I nodded. I won't. And I meant it. Because I wasn't trying to replace anyone. A child doesn't need another stranger demanding to be called dad. She needs consistency. So that's what I decided I would become. Consistency. When Lauren and I married, I never sat Brooke down and gave one of those awkward speeches about being a family now. Life isn't a movie. Real families are built in grocery stores, at school concerts, during doctor's appointments, by showing up every single day. Her biological father rarely did. He'd promise weekends, cancel Friday night, promise the next one, disappear again. Sometimes he'd call on birthdays. Sometimes he wouldn't. But every time his name appeared on Brooke's phone, her whole face lit up like Christmas morning. I watched it happen over and over. She kept believing that next time would be different. It almost never was. I never criticized him. Not once. Children don't need help loving their parents. Even the ones who disappoint them. So I stayed quiet. Instead, I paid attention to everything else. When Brooke got her learner's permit, I added her to my car insurance without mentioning what it cost. When her phone broke, I upgraded the family plan. When she wanted new clothes before school started, I handed Lauren my credit card. Field trips. Soccer fees. Birthday presents. Senior pictures. Gas money. Weekend trips with friends. Prom tickets. Every little expense that quietly piles into thousands of dollars over the years. I paid them. Gladly. Not because anyone asked me to. Because that's what fathers do. Or at least that's what I believed fathers were supposed to do. Lauren noticed, of course. You don't have to do all this, she'd tell me. I know. You spoil her. I smiled. I'm investing. In what? Our family. She'd kiss my cheek. I love you. Those moments made everything feel worthwhile. Even when Brooke barely acknowledged any of it. At first, I blamed adolescence. Teenagers roll their eyes. Teenagers pull away. Teenagers act embarrassed by adults. That's normal. Except Brooke's comments slowly became something else. Whenever someone assumed I was her dad, she'd correct them immediately. Oh, no. That's just Nathan. Sometimes she'd laugh afterward. Sometimes her friends would laugh too. The first few times I ignored it. The 10th time. It lingered. One afternoon I picked her up after soccer practice. Her teammates were climbing into different cars when one girl smiled at me. Bye, Mr. Carter. Before I could answer, Brooke sighed dramatically. He's not my dad. The girl looked embarrassed. Oh, sorry. Brooke shrugged. My real dad is way cooler. She climbed into the passenger seat without another word. The drive home lasted 23 minutes. Neither of us spoke. I stared at the road. She stared at her phone. I kept telling myself she was 14. Then 15. Then 16. Teenagers grow out of these things. Don't they? Lauren certainly thought so. It's just a phase, she'd say every time I brought it up. She doesn't mean it. It hurts. I know. Then why don't you say something? Lauren sighed. Because if I push too hard, she'll only resent you more. So I just take it? For now. That became the answer to everything. For now. Ignore it. She's young. She's emotional. She'll understand someday. So I waited. I kept paying the insurance. I kept paying the phone bill. I kept paying for everything that quietly made her life easier. And every time someone complimented me for raising such a wonderful daughter, Brooke answered before I could. He's just the guy Mom married. People would laugh awkwardly. I'd smile. Pretend it didn't matter. But every sentence landed somewhere. Small cuts don't kill you. They simply teach you what constant bleeding feels like. I convinced myself that actions mattered more than words. That eventually she'd remember who taught her to drive. Who sat through every school event. Who answered the phone whenever she needed help. Who never disappeared. I believed time would do what effort hadn't. I had no idea that the hardest lesson of my life was still waiting for me. I pulled into the driveway just after 6 on a warm Friday afternoon, the kind of evening that always made me believe families could still be repaired if everyone simply slowed down long enough to enjoy each other's company. The SUV was already packed. Lauren had spent the entire morning organizing snacks, folding blankets, checking hotel reservations, and reminding Brooke at least a dozen times not to forget her charger. Our annual road trip. It had become something of a tradition after Lauren and I married. Every summer we picked a different destination, drove instead of flying, stopped at strange roadside diners, argued over music, laughed about terrible tourist attractions, and collected photographs that eventually disappeared into albums nobody opened anymore. At least Lauren and I did. Brooke had gradually stopped participating. When she was younger, she had loved these trips. She would sit in the back seat pointing out funny billboards, asking endless questions, begging us to stop every time she saw an ice cream stand. Now she was 18. The headphones rarely left her ears. The phone never left her hands. Conversation had become something she tolerated only when absolutely necessary. Still, I looked forward to the trip. Maybe more than I admitted. Some foolish part of me still believed shared experiences could fix what conversations never had. Lauren climbed into the passenger seat and smiled. You ready? As ready as I'll ever be. Brooke opened the rear door without looking at either of us. Can we just go? Her voice carried the same impatient tone she used whenever my presence interrupted whatever was happening on her screen. I started the engine. Everybody buckled? A quiet click. Lauren nodded. Brooke didn't answer. The first couple of hours were peaceful enough. Lauren talked about work. I complained about construction traffic. We stopped for coffee. For a little while it almost felt normal. Then Lauren suggested we play one of those road trip games families always pretend to enjoy. Let's do memories. Brooke groaned loudly. Mom! Come on! It'll be fun. She looked back at me. Nathan, you start. I smiled. All right. My favorite family memory. I paused. Immediately dozens appeared. Teaching Brooke to parallel park. Helping her build a science fair project until 2 in the morning. Watching her score her first soccer goal. Seeing her cry after getting accepted into college. There were so many moments I had quietly stored away. Not because anyone asked me to. Because that's what fathers do. Or at least the men trying to become fathers. I think, I finally said, teaching Brooke how to drive. Lauren laughed. You almost had a heart attack. I definitely did. You screamed when she parked. I encouraged. You screamed. Even Brooke smiled. Just a tiny one. Barely noticeable. But I saw it. It gave me hope. What about you? Lauren asked her. Brooke shrugged. I don't know. Come on. There has to be one. She stared out the window. My favorite memory is probably when Dad took me fishing. Silence settled over the car. Not because she mentioned her biological father. She had every right to. What stung was the memory itself. I remembered that fishing trip. Because it never happened. He had cancelled. She had cried for almost an hour. Lauren had eventually convinced me to take Brooke to the lake myself because she didn't want the weekend completely ruined. We spent nearly 6 hours there. I untangled her fishing line. I baited every hook because worms made her squeamish. She caught one tiny bluegill. Posed for pictures. Laughed the entire drive home. At the end of the day, she hugged me. The following Monday, her father stopped by unexpectedly. Stayed 20 minutes. Looked at the pictures. Then somehow that entire afternoon became his memory instead of mine. I never corrected anyone. Especially not Brooke. Children rewrite painful memories to protect themselves. I understood that. Even if it hurt. Lauren quickly changed the subject. So, music? Nobody answered. The highway stretched endlessly ahead. Around noon we stopped for lunch at a roadside restaurant packed with travelers. The hostess asked the usual question. Table for 3? I nodded. She grabbed 3 menus. As she led us through the dining room, she smiled at Brooke. You look just like your dad. Brooke didn't hesitate. Oh, he's not my dad. The hostess froze. I'm so sorry. It's okay. She laughed. My real dad looks nothing like him. I forced a smile. It happens. The poor woman apologized twice before hurrying away. Lauren kicked my foot gently beneath the table. Her silent way of asking me not to react. So I didn't. Again. Lunch passed in awkward conversation. Back in the car, Lauren finally spoke. She didn't mean anything by it. I kept my eyes on the road. She never does. Nathan. No. It's okay. I'm fine. She studied my face. You don't sound fine. I said I'm okay. The truth was I wasn't angry anymore. Anger requires surprise. I had reached something much quieter. Disappointment repeated often enough eventually becomes routine. 3 hours later we stopped at a scenic overlook. Tourists wandered around taking photographs of the mountains. Lauren handed Brooke her phone. Can you take one of us? Brooke sighed dramatically. Seriously? It'll take 5 seconds. She snapped 2 pictures. I smiled. Lauren leaned against me. Just as Brooke lowered the phone, an older couple approached. Would you like one with all 3 of you? Lauren brightened. That would be wonderful. Before either of us could answer, Brooke shook her head. No thanks. The woman looked confused. But then you'll be missing. Brooke slipped the phone back into Lauren's hand. I don't really need one. Lauren frowned. Brooke. What? It'll look nice. She folded her arms. I don't want people thinking we're some perfect family. Nobody spoke. The older couple quietly walked away. Lauren stared at the ground. I looked out across the mountains. The view was beautiful. I barely noticed it. We reached the hotel shortly before sunset. After checking in, Lauren suggested we walk to the nearby boardwalk before dinner. The streets were crowded. Families everywhere. Children chasing bubbles. Parents carrying stuffed animals they'd clearly overpaid for. For a few minutes we blended into everyone else. Until we ran into one of Brooke's classmates. Brooke! The girl waved excitedly before noticing us. Oh, hi! She smiled at Lauren. Then looked at me. Is this your dad? Brooke rolled her eyes so dramatically I heard Lauren exhale beside me. No. That's just my mom's husband. The words landed exactly the same way they always did. Just my mom's husband. The girl awkwardly apologized. Again. Always apologies. Always uncomfortable smiles. Always me pretending not to care. As her friend walked away, Lauren whispered sharply. Brooke! What? You didn't have to say it like that. I told the truth. There are kinder ways. She shrugged. I'm not responsible for his feelings. Those 6 words echoed inside me long after she walked ahead. I'm not responsible for his feelings. I stood completely still in the middle of the boardwalk. For years I had believed responsibility flowed only one direction. Toward the parent. Toward the adult. Toward the provider. Maybe I had been wrong. Maybe responsibility should exist on both sides. Respect wasn't love. It wasn't obedience. It certainly wasn't pretending I had replaced her father. It was simply acknowledging the person who had spent years quietly carrying part of your life. For the first time since marrying Lauren, I wondered what would happen if I stopped carrying it. The hotel room smelled faintly of chlorine from the indoor pool, cheap carpet cleaner, and the stale air that every roadside hotel seems to recycle forever. Outside, headlights drifted across the curtains as cars pulled into the parking lot, while somewhere down the hallway a child laughed before a door slammed shut. It should have been another ordinary stop on another family vacation. Instead, it became the night everything finally changed. Lauren fell asleep within minutes. She always had that gift. No matter how stressful the day had been, she could close her eyes and drift away, leaving tomorrow's problems for tomorrow. Brooke stayed awake in the adjoining room. Every few seconds I heard another short burst of laughter from her phone, followed by another video starting. She sounded happy. Just not with us. I lay awake staring at the ceiling. The air conditioner clicked on. Then off. Then on again. Sleep never came. People imagine breaking points as dramatic moments. They picture shouting, slammed doors, shattered plates. But the truth is quieter than that. Sometimes a man reaches his limit while lying perfectly still in the dark, replaying the same memories until he can no longer convince himself they don't matter. That night I stopped making excuses. My thoughts wandered to Brooke's car insurance. The payment was due in a few days. After that came the family phone bill. Then the monthly transfers I quietly sent her for gas, little expenses, subscriptions, and everything else she barely noticed because it had always been there. Every one of those payments came from me. Not because anyone forced me. Because I believed that was what fathers did. I thought back over the years. When Brooke got her learner's permit, I spent every Saturday morning teaching her to drive. I sat calmly beside her while she stalled at intersections, drifted between lanes, and nearly clipped a mailbox during her first attempt at parallel parking. I paid the insurance because I wanted her protected. When her phone broke, I upgraded the family plan instead of buying myself the new phone I'd wanted. When college brochures started arriving, I quietly opened another savings account. I never kept score. Love isn't supposed to keep score. But lying there in the darkness, I asked myself a question that refused to go away. When was the last time Brooke had thanked me? Not because Lauren reminded her. Not because it was expected. Because she genuinely wanted to. I searched my memory. Nothing. That hurt far more than I expected. I had spent years believing that consistency eventually earns respect. Show up every day. Keep your promises. Be dependable. Someday people notice. What if they never do? I turned toward Lauren. I loved her more than I could ever explain. That was part of the problem. Every time Brooke embarrassed me, Lauren wrapped the moment in another excuse. She's still young. She doesn't mean it. Please don't take it personally. She's figuring things out. I accepted those explanations because I wanted peace more than I wanted honesty. But peace built on silence isn't really peace. It's surrender. The next morning Lauren acted as though yesterday had never happened. She smiled through breakfast. Suggested we stop at little antique stores along the highway. Pointed out scenic overlooks. Brooke barely looked up from her phone. The three of us occupied the same car, but it felt like we were traveling to different places. Around noon we stopped for gas. Lauren went inside for coffee. Brooke followed for snacks. I stood alone beside the pump watching the numbers climb higher and higher. $93. $102. I couldn't help smiling. Even this trip existed because I paid for it. When they returned, Brooke tossed her snacks into the back seat. You done yet? I looked at her. Really looked. She noticed my expression. What? Nothing. I climbed behind the wheel. An hour later we stopped at a scenic overlook crowded with tourists taking photographs. An older couple smiled warmly. "Would you like us to take one of all three of you?" Lauren immediately brightened. "That would be wonderful." Before I could answer, Brooke sighed. "I'd rather not." Lauren frowned. "Why?" "I don't want people thinking we're one big happy family." The couple exchanged an awkward glance before quietly walking away. Nobody spoke. Back at the parking lot, another family happened to park beside us. A little boy waved excitedly. I waved back. His father laughed. "You've got a good dad there." Before I could even smile, Brooke answered. "He's not my dad." The man looked embarrassed. "Oh, I'm sorry. My real dad is different," Lauren whispered sharply. "Brooke." "What?" "You don't have to keep saying it. I'm telling the truth." Then she looked directly at me. "He keeps acting like he's part of my family." "Not our family." "My family." "But he isn't." Something inside me became perfectly still. I didn't feel angry anymore. I didn't even feel hurt. I simply believed her. For the first time in years, I accepted that she wasn't speaking carelessly. She was telling me exactly where I stood. I nodded once. "All right." She frowned. "What does that mean?" "It means I heard you." The rest of the drive passed in complete silence. When we reached the hotel, I carried everyone's luggage upstairs, placed the bags in the rooms, then picked up my laptop. "I'm going downstairs," I told Lauren. The lobby was almost empty. A fake fireplace glowed against one wall, while an elderly couple quietly played cards nearby. I opened my laptop and logged into my insurance account. Brooke's car appeared beneath my policy. The cursor hovered over her name. One click. That was all. The website asked if I was sure. I remembered teaching her to drive. I remembered paying every premium. Then I remembered her words. "He isn't part of my family." I clicked confirm. Next came the phone plan. Then the automatic transfers. One after another, I canceled everything I had quietly carried for years. No anger. No revenge. Just acceptance. By the time I closed the laptop, I realized the truth wasn't that I had stopped acting like Brooke's father. The truth was that I had finally stopped pretending she wanted me to be one. I closed the laptop and sat there for several minutes without moving. The fake fireplace across the lobby continued flickering, throwing warm orange light across the carpet, but I felt nothing. I wasn't proud of what I had done. I wasn't angry anymore either. I was simply tired. Tired of carrying responsibilities that belonged to someone who openly rejected me. For years I had confused endurance with love. I finally understood they weren't the same thing. When I walked back upstairs, Lauren was sitting on the edge of the bed waiting for me. She knew me well enough to recognize when something had changed. "You've been gone almost an hour," she said quietly. "I know. Where were you?" "Downstairs." She studied my face. "You look different." "I probably am." The room fell silent. Lauren reached for my hand, but I gently pulled it away. It wasn't meant to punish her. I simply didn't have the strength to pretend everything was fine anymore. "Nathan, I don't want another explanation." "I wasn't going to explain." "Weren't you?" She looked down. That answer was enough. "I know Brooke hurt you today," she whispered. "Today?" She sighed. "I know she's been difficult." "Difficult?" I repeated the word slowly. "Is that what we're calling it now?" Lauren rubbed her forehead. "She's still trying to figure things out. She's 18. I know. She's old enough to vote. I know. Old enough to drive. I know. Old enough to tell complete strangers that I'm nothing more than the man you settled for." Lauren closed her eyes. "Please. No." For the first time in years, I refused to let the conversation end with another excuse. I have listened to please for 5 years. Please ignore it. Please don't take it personally. Please give her time. "Lauren, how much more time does she need?" She couldn't answer. Because we both knew the truth. Time wasn't changing anything. It was only teaching Brooke that there would never be consequences. Finally, Lauren looked at me. What happened downstairs? I held her eyes. I canceled Brooke's car insurance. Her face went pale. You, what? I removed her from my policy. Nathan. I also removed her from my phone plan. She stared at me. For several long seconds she didn't speak. Then she whispered, "You're serious." I've never been more serious. You can't do that. I already did. What if she gets into an accident? She won't. How do you know? Because she won't be driving my uninsured car. Lauren stood so quickly the chair behind her tipped over. This is insane. No. It's long overdue. She paced across the room. She's just a kid. No. She's my daughter. And she's been reminding me for years that she isn't mine. Lauren stopped walking. Tears began filling her eyes. She doesn't understand what she's saying. Then this is how she'll learn. Before Lauren could answer, the connecting door opened. Brooke walked in without knocking, still staring at her phone. Mom, the Wi-Fi password isn't. She stopped when she saw our faces. What happened? Neither of us answered. She looked from Lauren to me. What? Lauren swallowed hard. Brooke. What? Nathan canceled your phone. Brooke blinked. My what? Your phone plan. She laughed. No, seriously. I'm serious. The smile disappeared. She immediately held up her phone and switched off the hotel Wi-Fi. Within seconds the signal disappeared. No service. She frowned. Then looked at me. What did you do? I removed your line from my account. You can't. I can. You seriously shut off my phone? Yes. She stared at me in disbelief. Because I told people you're not my dad? No. Because you made it clear you don't want me acting like one. She folded her arms. You're being ridiculous. Maybe. But I'm done pretending. Brooke looked toward Lauren. Mom? Lauren remained silent. That silence unsettled Brooke more than anything I could have said. Mom? Lauren finally spoke. He also canceled your insurance. Brooke's expression froze. What? Your car is no longer covered. She laughed again, but this time it sounded nervous. Okay. This joke isn't funny. It isn't a joke. You seriously canceled my insurance? Yes. I have to drive home. Not legally. She stared at me. You've lost your mind. No. I've accepted reality. What reality? The one you've been explaining to me for years. She shook her head. I don't even know what that means. It means I'm not your father. So fathers pay for things. You chose to. I did. And now I'm choosing not to. Her confidence began slipping. You can't just stop. I already have. She immediately unlocked her phone again. I'm calling Dad. I nodded toward the screen. Go ahead. She pressed the number. We all listened. 1 ring. 2. 3. Straight to voicemail. She hung up and tried again. Voicemail. Again. Nothing. Her jaw tightened. He must be busy. I said nothing. She sent 3 text messages in a row. No reply. Lauren quietly took out her own phone. I'll call. She tried once. Then again. Then a third time. Every call ended exactly the same way. Voicemail. The room grew painfully quiet. For the first time since I'd known Brooke, there was uncertainty in her eyes. Not anger. Not sarcasm. Uncertainty. She looked at Lauren. He's probably working. Lauren didn't answer. Neither of us believed that anymore. 5 minutes passed. Still nothing. Brooke lowered the phone slowly. Almost whispering, she asked, What am I supposed to do? I looked at her for a long moment. Then answered as calmly as I could. The same thing I've been told to do for years. She frowned. What? Figure it out without your father.